I 100% knew I did not want to get into a relationship with a man who was rich because I wanted to know that I could do it for myself. No way, I'm gonna solve all my money problems. And I don't even want anyone else to come in and solve my money problems. That is who I want to be. I'm the rich man. I'm gonna teach you how to solve any problem. My name is Izi Chinchay. I'm a podcast host, speaker, coach, and entrepreneur. And I want to talk about this because it's something that's been showing up in my life a lot recently. And I basically cracked the code on how to solve any problem ever. I know, I sound crazy. First, the first piece of this is to make the entire solution revolve around you. Okay? So when you have a problem, if you make the solution 1000% contingent on what you do, you will solve any problem. If the solution is contingent on what you can do about the problem, you can solve any problem. Now, let me break this down and I'll give you some examples on how this has manifested in my life. I'm going to start with relationship problems. I know. You're like, what? You can solve any problem? Yes, you can. Because I do it in my life all the time. I solve all my problems. Okay. So I'll give you an example. I have a friend, we're really close, and sometimes we have friction within our friendship. And that's just how it is. We believe that we're putting each other's lives because we can kind of like push each other, kind of irritate each other's egos a little bit, get us, emotional, worked up. And that's actually something that we really enjoy about a relationship because it continues to push us to be better women and to push and to set our egos aside and actually deal with what's going on. And so how I solve a problem between me and this friend that we're having, and I'm just going to say her name because she doesn't care. She loves it. Hannah is her name. So if I'm having a fight with Hannah, we get into something where she starts saying something, that feeling when you're talking to someone and something just like, ooh, like it gets you. It's like, that did not sit right. Something in there, right? You didn't enjoy it and it irritated you and you're like, ooh, wow, I don't want to be around this person. This person said something that hurt me. I don't like this. The number one thing that you have to do, that I do in that moment, if I want to get through it and I want to solve this problem, is to make the solution 100% about me. Okay. So typically when someone says something, actually not typically, always, when someone says something that bothers us, if it actually bothers us, it's because we're projecting on them and then we're getting it back and we're perceiving it and internalizing it and letting our ego get irritated and agitated and bruised by whatever was said. So we got into this argument, not even an argument, we were just talking. She said something. I was like, hey, I need space for a second. In that moment, what did my ego want to do? My ego wanted to sit there and pick apart all the reasons as to why she was wrong. I want to be like, she said this because she thinks this about me and she views me this way and all these things, which is really deep insecurities that I have, that my ego has, that's coming out and doesn't want to get attacked in that way. Doesn't want to be viewed in all those ways that I'm perceiving she is projecting on me, right? So I go, I can't do that. This person in my problem is irrelevant to my solution. She is irrelevant to my solution. If I want to feel better and have this problem fixed, then I need to be the solution to my own problem, which means I need to be unconditional about anything that she says from here on out about the topic and instead focus on me. Be like, wow, where is that coming from within me? I do this with my husband sometimes. Like if I get upset with my husband in a moment about something, and we both do this, I think this is why we have a great relationship. It's like, I'll tell him, sometimes I'm like, I don't know why I'm acting this way. And it's frustrating me that I'm acting this way. So I'm going to go deal with my feelings and my emotions. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to have a really good conversation because there's no real reason for me to be upset right now. If someone says something to you, if you're not good with where you're at, and they say something that could potentially hurt you, then yeah, your ego's gonna get bruised and it's gonna flare up and it's gonna turn into an argument. But if you're solid and you're feeling your best and you're confident and you're loving your life and someone says something to you that's just like mean or negative, you're just like, okay, whatever. Because you're feeling good. Your ego isn't all flared up and like, I need to protect myself and and that's all about me. No. So even with Mitchell, sometimes I'm like, I gotta go away. I'm gonna go deal with me. And I'm not kidding. Like sometimes it'll literally be like, I'll be like frustrated about, I like my space really clean, and Mitchell's actually probably even more clean than me, but if I get stressed, like overwhelmed, like there's dishes, there's laundry, there's things, my dog's hair is everywhere, whatever, and it's a stressful moment for me, I will then let that come out, and then I'll be snappy about something. And that's a me problem. That has nothing to do with my husband, has nothing to do with anyone else around me. And then that'll happen, then I'll be like, oh my gosh. And I'll straight tell him, like, I don't know why I'm being this way. I need to go take a moment. I need to go deal with me. And once I deal with me, and once I deal with my ego, I'll come back to this conversation. It's gonna be a way better conversation. And then we'll laugh about it later. And he's very neutral. He's just like, yep, okay. And me and my friend Hannah do that as well. It's just like, yeah, I don't know why I'm getting flared up and the ego is starting to get involved here, but I need to take a step back. I got to deal with me. And that's something that's been able to solve literally all my relationship problems. Now, if there's an extreme relationship where someone is actually like out of control, they don't treat you well, I'm not saying that like you got to sit there and just like die to yourself and like engage in that relationship. You're the solution in the sense of if it's a bad relationship and it causes more hurt than help, you're also the solution in the sense that you need to have the boundary and cut that person out and be like, I am no longer moving forward with this relationship. And just because you solve a problem, I didn't say that you wouldn't feel great about every problem that you solve, but the problem will be solved, right? Sometimes solving problems sucks because we have to make hard decisions. We have to make really hard decisions. Like if you have to go through a breakup, right? And you have to make the decision, solve the problem of no longer being with someone who's toxic. That is not easy to do, but you can still solve the problem. Doesn't mean it's always going to feel great and feel amazing. And so I'm not saying to, stick in a bad relationship because, you can solve that relationship. Sometimes you cannot. You need to solve the problem of literally leaving and ending that relationship. So outside of relationships, this also manifests a lot for me in business when there are problems in business or problems with a customer. Someone's not happy with something that's going on. I'm like, how can I make myself the solution in this equation? How can I show up in a way that's going to make someone feel so heard and so seen, and I can genuinely care for their concern that I can solve the problem? If you show up that way, typically it's like just letting someone be heard and know that you genuinely care. Like every single person I work with, every single client I have, all my high school students, I love them so much. I want to help them so bad. So if there's anything wrong, I'm like, I have to be the one to solve this problem. I literally I'm like, I need to be the one because I want to be the one. I want to be the one to solve this problem and make their life better and help them achieve their dreams. I had to solve a huge problem for myself a couple years ago, well, even like a year ago, financially. It's like, I have a problem of not having enough money. And if you don't have enough money and you don't make yourself the solution to that problem, you are going to be wildly unhappy. You're going to be wildly unhappy because you're going to be basing your desires off of hoping someone saves you or gives you a handout. And that for me is just like, that's just not the way to be. I know I don't want a handout. I don't want that from someone. I want to do it for myself. So it got really serious in the fact that I wrote myself a letter like before I met Mitchell. I said, I do not want to marry a rich man. I 100% knew I did not want to get into a relationship with a man who was rich because I wanted to know that I could do it for myself. And I remember this one time I was dating this guy I was dating this guy, and we were sitting in a room, and this guy's friend comes up to me, and he's like, "Hey, Izzy, how does it feel to be dating a future millionaire?" And he was referring to the guy that I was dating at the time. And I said, And I looked at the guy that I was dating, and I said, "I don't know. How does it feel?" Because I was like, that's so gross. Why would you ask me that? Are you joking me? I'm going to be the breadwinner, baby. Like, I'm the one. I am the rich man. No way. No way. I'm going to solve all my money problems. Sorry, I'm not waiting on anyone else. And I don't even want anyone else to come in and solve my money problems. They're like in me. Like, that is who I want to be. I'm the rich man. I am the rich man. And I remember as soon as I said that, I was like, I don't even want to be around these kind of people. This isn't even the guy that I want to date. I don't want to date this kind of guy. I don't want to be with someone who's like, yeah, I have all the money and blah, blah. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. I want to be the rich man. And so I was like, I have to be the solution to my money problems. And there's so much freedom in making yourself the answer to all your problems. Because then it's about no one else. No circumstances, nothing. It's about you versus you. And you have to be willing to roll up your sleeves and be like, I'll be the one. I'll take care of it. I can't point fingers anymore. It's all right here. It's all right here. And that is how you solve any problem. Take some radical ownership, get your ego out of the way, and get it done. Thank you for listening. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, I would greatly appreciate if you could share this episode with 5 people you think could benefit from the show. Also, please feel free to connect with me on Instagram at Izi Chinchay or my website at izichinchay.com. Thank you so much for being you. Keep being a leader and making this world a better place.